Have you wondered how people get some of those unique shots, like sitting on a roof or something from a top-down perspective, but you know they're not using tripods because you're not seeing the tripod legs, or throwing a tripod on a roof? Let's be honest, if my camera falls, I'm out $4,000 and you're not seeing me make videos anymore. But you want to get unique angles and perspective. Maybe you don't have a ton of room in your office, but you still want to be able to film from your desk. Well, that's where the SmallRig Magic arm comes into play. You can basically tighten it anywhere. You can tighten it on the gutter of your house. You can tighten it on a desk. It's basically just an adjustable arm with a clamp on it. So if you need to be able to create those unique angles, you can do it.
Or we get a cool angle like this where we have it hanging from our ceiling fan. Now, obviously this might not be the best angle to use all the time because your neck's gonna start hurting, but you can see where it kind of given us this unique and cool perspective for our video. You know, nothing too crazy, but it just adds to it. And you're not gonna be able to do this with a tripod. You could do it with a C-stand, but this is 10 times easier to set up because honestly, the size of it is fantastic. There's multiple different size ones you can get. There's a 9.8-inch one, there's a 5.5 one, and you can also get it without the clamp. So if you don't plan on using the clamp, which is basically what's allowing me to get this kind of perspective, you can just get the arm, which is gonna allow you to throw it on the back of your camera, which will work great if you're looking to get some really cool BTS footage.
This is it right here, right? You can just untwist it and it'll rotate like that. And then you have these areas right here, this 1/4-inch screw threads. So if you have something like an FX30 that basically has a cage built into the top, you can kind of see the one that gets use online versus the one that doesn't get use because it's not black anymore. But you could easily hook it into there or hook it into the bottom there. And if you pay the extra money, you get the clamp that comes with it. The clamp's very interesting because it can hook onto basically anything because it's a clamp. So you just twist that and tighten it up. And then here's your 1/4-inch screw thread and then your 3/8 if you ever need that. And this was basically allowed me to hook it onto the roof, onto the fan, onto the side of the tables, or whatever for those different kinds of shots I want to get. There's also one other quick thing I wanted to mention, and it's actually when you have this hooked up right here like I do, right? We have it, look at that. Look how nice that looks. And look, great backdrop. You can have your camera here or your monitor. But look at this right here. You see this? Right here, this part, make sure that's tight in there, because what happens is if it's not tight enough, or this isn't tight enough, and you move it just slightly, like I will right here, you can see how it's just gonna free fall. So make sure it's tight all the way right here, so that way when you have something on here, it doesn't just fall like that, because that's how you could possibly lose a piece of equipment. Let's just do a quick overview. This is already a short video, but these videos don't need to be long about something so simple. So let's just talk about it. Right here, you have the area that, you know, unlock and locks it so that way it can move. And if it's unlocked, you can definitely move these little areas right here. So just keep in mind that once you lock it, this whole thing's stuck where it's at. So get everything adjusted accordingly and then lock it. And then obviously we have the clamp right here. We can just twist that and it comes off. The nice thing about this too, with this clamp, is this actually moves. So if something's in the way or you're not gonna have enough room, you can just slide it through and then you can just wind it and unwind it. So that way you can tighten it and lock it against something if you need to. 3/8 inch right there, 1/4 inch right here. You can basically attach this to anything, so it works out perfectly if you're using something like the Pocket 3, like I've already said, just because of how lightweight the Pocket 3 is, the Action 4, anything that's more of like a lightweight camera. You can also use it with your heavy duty cameras, right? Because it can hold up to 6.6 pounds. I use it all the time on my FX30 with a 16mm to have on my desk, so that way I don't have to have my tripod set up as well. So whatever you want to do, it will work for that. I just prefer not using it in areas that I'm afraid it's gonna fall or I can't grab it quick, because I don't want to risk losing all my camera gear that I have. But I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you've got any questions, drop them down below. And if you made it this far, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you've got us. Again, God bless. I'll see you in the next one.